You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. What if I told you that the secret to being truly magnetic, the kind of presence that draws people in effortlessly, isn't about what you say or do, but how you control your reactions? Imagine walking into any room, feeling calm, unshaken, and completely in control, while others scramble trying to keep up with their emotions. That kind of poise isn't just attractive, it's powerful. In this video, you're about to discover why being detached and non-reactive isn't cold or distant. Instead, it's the cornerstone of an irresistible confidence rooted in Stoicism. When you master this mindset, people don't just notice you. They respect you, trust you, and want to be around you. Stay with me until the very end because the insights I'm about to share will change how you connect with others, how you handle stress, and how you show up in your life every single day. This isn't just theory, it's a practical, transformative way to become the best version of yourself. Ready to unlock that power? Let's dive in. Number 1, emotional control signals strength and stability. Let's get straight to it. Emotional control isn't just about keeping your cool. It's a signal, a beacon that shows the world you have strength and stability. When you master your emotions, you're not just reacting to life's chaos, you're standing firm amid the storm. And that, my friend, makes you magnetic. You see, everyone feels waves of frustration, anger, or jealousy. But how you respond, that's what sets you apart. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine carrying yourself with that mindset every single day. You're no longer a puppet to fleeting feelings, but the steady captain of your inner ship. Why does this make you more attractive? Because people crave reliability. They want someone who's solid, who doesn't crumble at the first sign of trouble or lose their temper when things don't go their way. When you show emotional control, you radiate confidence. You show that you can handle pressure without falling apart. That's strength in its form. So here's your call to action. Start observing your emotions instead of being swept away by them. When irritation or anxiety creeps in, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this reaction helping me or hurting me? This simple habit rewires your mind toward calmness. Practice this daily. When triggered, don't instantly respond, choose your response. Over time, you'll notice a new pattern emerging: calmness, stability, power. Remember who reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That power is in your hands. Control your emotions and you control your life. And that kind of control, it's irresistibly attractive. Number 2, detachment prevents neediness and desperation. Let's talk about something that might just change the way you show up in the world: detachment. Not the cold, distant kind, but the kind that frees you from being needy or desperate. Because here's the truth. When you're wrapped up in neediness, you're giving away your power. You become a person who chases approval, clings to validation, and feels anxious whenever things don't go your way. And it's exhausting. Not only for you, but for everyone around you. Detachment in the Stoic sense is about stepping back and seeing things clearly. It's about knowing what's truly within your control, your own thoughts, your actions, your values, and letting go of the rest. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you embrace this, neediness loses its grip. You stop needing people or situations to define your worth. You're steady, calm, and confident no matter what. Imagine how magnetic that is. When you're not desperate for attention or approval, you become someone others want to be around. You carry a quiet strength, a sense of inner peace that's rare and attractive. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring wisely without losing yourself. Here's an exercise for you. Next time you feel that pull to seek approval or validation, pause, take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Am I clinging to something outside my power? Write down your honest answers. Practice this regularly. Over time, you'll catch yourself before falling into neediness, and you'll respond with calm detachment instead. Remember, detachment isn't about shutting down your emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about standing tall, grounded in your own value, no matter what's happening around you. That's where real attractiveness lives. And it starts with you choosing to step back, breathe, and own your inner power. Number 3, non-reactivity shows maturity and confidence. Non-reactivity isn't just about staying quiet or suppressing your feelings. It's a powerful sign that you've reached a level of maturity and confidence that many only wish to achieve. When you don't immediately react to every trigger, whether it's criticism, a tough situation, or someone trying to provoke you, you're sending a message. That message says, I am in control. I know who I am. I don't need to prove myself through impulsive reactions. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you practice non-reactivity, you show that your self-worth doesn't depend on the chaos around you. You're anchored, steady, unshaken by the storm of opinions, judgments, or drama. That calm presence draws people in. It's magnetic. Why? Because it's rare. In a world that values loudness and quick emotional responses, being measured and deliberate stands out as genuine strength. Now, how do you build this? Start by creating a small pause before reacting. The next time something triggers you, stop for a moment. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, is my reaction helping me or hurting me? Practice this pause often. Over time, it becomes natural. Also, remind yourself daily of words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This mindset isn't about detaching from life, but about choosing your responses consciously. When you own your reactions, you own your confidence, and confidence is irresistible. Try this simple exercise today. When you feel the urge to react, count to 5 silently before speaking or acting. This brief gap creates space for wisdom to step in, rather than instinct. You'll start noticing a shift, not just in how others see you, but how you see yourself. Remember, non-reactivity is a daily practice. It's a muscle you build with intention and patience. The more you cultivate it, the more mature and confident you become. And that in itself is a kind of attractiveness that no trend or superficial charm can match. It's real. It's lasting. It's you at your best. Number 4, it creates mystery and intrigue around you. Let's get real for a moment. When you master the art of being detached and non-reactive, you're not just calming your own mind. You're also turning into someone magnetic. Why? Because you create mystery. You become intriguing. Think about it. When you don't overreact or spill all your emotions at once, people can't easily read you. You're like a book with pages deliberately left unturned. There's an allure in that. It's natural to be curious about what lies beneath the calm surface. And that curiosity, it draws people in. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our own thoughts, judgments, and actions, not the uncontrollable chaos outside. When you embody this, you become a fortress of calm in a storm of noise. Others notice that. As Seneca said, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. By not rushing to react, you're showing strength, self-command, and depth. Now here's the deal. Mystery isn't about playing games or pretending. It's about owning your inner world without feeling pressured to explain it all. You don't owe anyone the full story of your thoughts or emotions. Instead, hold some things close. Let your silence speak. That silence, that restraint, that's magnetic. Want to build this yourself? Start by practicing this simple exercise. The next time something triggers you, A rude comment, criticism, or even excitement, pause. Take a slow breath. Let the urge to react pass like a wave. Respond with intention, not impulse. Over time, that pause becomes your secret power. Remember words. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your strength isn't just in what you say or do, it's in the calm you carry. So step into this mystery. Be the person who doesn't rush to reveal everything but instead lets others wonder. That quiet confidence will make you unforgettable. The more you practice, the more you'll see how being detached and non-reactive isn't cold or distant, it's deeply attractive. And it starts with you, right now. Number 5, others feel safer and more comfortable around calm presence. You need to understand this clearly. When you cultivate a calm presence, something powerful happens around you. People naturally feel safer and more comfortable in your space. This isn't magic. It's a deep psychological truth that's rooted in how humans respond to emotional energy. When you're reactive, tense, or easily upset, you send out vibrations of instability. But when you master detachment and non-reactivity, you become a steady rock amidst the storm. And others, they gravitate toward that. Imagine being the kind of person who doesn't get rattled by every little thing. You don't jump into arguments or get swept away by emotional whirlpools. Instead, you pause, breathe, and choose your response. As said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you embody this truth, people pick up on your strength and calm. It's magnetic. Why does this matter? Because humans crave safety and connection. When your energy is calm and controlled, others feel they can be themselves around you without fear of judgment or sudden emotional outbursts. You become a safe harbor, and that comfort is incredibly attractive. But don't just take this in passively. Start practicing right now. The next time something tries to shake you, maybe someone's rude comment or a stressful situation, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I control my reaction. Watch your impulse to react melt away. Feel your center grow steady. Here's a simple exercise. For 5 minutes each day, sit quietly and observe your breath. When thoughts or emotions arise, don't push them away or grab hold. Just notice them and gently return to your breath. This trains your mind to stay grounded. Over time, your calm will become your default. You're not just improving yourself. You're creating an atmosphere where others feel safe, valued, and drawn to your presence. That's true attractiveness, not flashy words or superficial charm, but the quiet confidence of a mind at peace. So start now. Be calm in the chaos. Let that calmness ripple outward, making every space you enter more inviting, more peaceful. You'll see how naturally people will want to be around you. Remember, true attractiveness isn't just about looks or charm. It's the calm, steady energy you bring into every room. By mastering detachment and choosing not to react impulsively, you build an unshakable presence that draws people in naturally. As said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So take this wisdom to heart. Practice being that calm center in chaos. Let your quiet confidence speak louder than words ever could. If you commit to this, you won't just be more attractive, you'll be truly magnetic. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a dose of Stoic power. And share in the comments, how will you bring more calm and detachment into your life starting today? Stay steady, stay strong. See you in the next video. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that the secret to becoming truly magnetic, someone who naturally draws others in, is not about charm, looks, or social skills? It's about mastering one powerful inner skill, emotional independence. Imagine not being tossed around by every slight, every mood swing, every expectation. What if you could stand calm, steady, and unshaken no matter what life throws at you? That's emotional independence, and it's a game changer. In this video, you're going to discover why freeing yourself from the chains of emotional dependence makes you undeniably attractive, not just superficially, but deep down, to everyone around you. You'll learn how Stoic philosophy reveals the path to this rare strength and how you can start practicing it today. Stay with me until the very end, because the insights and practical steps I'll share will empower you to become that magnetic force of calm, confidence, and resilience. Trust me, this isn't just theory. It's the key to transforming your relationships, your presence, and your entire life. Ready to unlock your undeniable magnetism? Let's dive in. Number 1, emotional independence builds unshakable inner confidence. Emotional independence is the foundation of unshakable inner confidence. When you learn to rely on yourself emotionally, your sense of worth no longer wobbles based on others' opinions, moods, or approval. Imagine this: your peace, your strength, your confidence, all steady, calm, and rooted deep inside. That's the power of emotional independence. It means you don't get tossed around by every wave of external drama or validation seeking. Instead, you stand firm like a rock in the storm. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That strength, it's your inner confidence, but it doesn't just appear overnight. You have to cultivate it. It requires daily practice, a deliberate choice to take ownership of your feelings and to stop outsourcing your happiness to others. When you're emotionally independent, you create a solid inner sanctuary, a mental space where your self-worth is not a fragile flower but a sturdy oak. This confidence radiates outward, making you magnetic, because people naturally gravitate towards someone who is steady, self-possessed, and in control of themselves. You become a person who doesn't demand attention or validation, but instead inspires it effortlessly. So how do you build this kind of confidence? Start by observing your emotions without immediately reacting. When you feel hurt, anxious, or excited, pause. Ask yourself, is this feeling coming from me, or am I borrowing it from someone else's reaction? Recognize that your emotional state is yours to manage. This simple awareness is your first step toward independence. Next, practice what Epictetus taught. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't control every circumstance, but you control your response. When challenges arise, meet them with calm resolve, knowing your value isn't shaken by external chaos. This mindset shifts your confidence from being conditional, based on success, praise, or relationships, to unconditional and enduring. Here's a practical exercise. Each day, take 5 minutes to journal about your emotional reactions. Write down moments when you felt triggered or dependent on someone else's approval. Then, write how you could respond differently next time, grounded in your own values and self-respect. Over time, this rewires your brain to trust itself more, boosting that deep confidence. Remember, emotional independence is not about shutting others out or becoming cold. It's about reclaiming your power to stand tall regardless of the noise around you. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of seeking approval and frees you to be your authentic self. That authenticity, unwavering, self-assured, and calm, is magnetic beyond measure. Start today. Take control of your emotional world. Build that unshakable inner confidence that the Stoics praised and lived by. Because when you do, you don't just survive the world's ups and downs, you thrive through them with grace and undeniable magnetism. Number 2, it frees you from others, opinions, and validation. Think about how much time you spend, consciously or not, worrying about what others think of you. How often do you pause your own growth or silence your true self just to fit into someone else's mold? Emotional independence changes all that. It frees you from the exhausting trap of seeking others' approval, and validation. And here's the truth. When you break free from that cycle, you unlock a magnetic force within yourself that no one can resist. Reminded us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed. This isn't about being stubborn or deaf to feedback. It's about anchoring your self-worth inside you, not outside in the fickle opinions of others. When your confidence no longer hinges on applause, you become steady, calm, and powerful. Why? Because dependence on others' approval leaves you vulnerable, fragile to mood swings, rejection, and criticism. But when you decide that your value comes from your own judgment and actions, you build a fortress no external voice can shake. You start choosing your responses, your beliefs, your direction, without the noise of approval or disapproval clouding your mind. Here's a practical habit to start right now. Catch yourself when you seek validation. Maybe it's posting on social media or fishing for compliments in conversation. Pause. Ask, why do I want this approval? What am I hoping to feel? Once you identify the urge, gently remind yourself that your worth isn't a prize to be won. It's a birthright you carry no matter what anyone says. Then train your mind daily with this Stoic exercise. Every morning declare to yourself, I will live today according to my own values, not others' expectations. Repeat it until it sinks in, not as empty words but as a guiding truth. Over time, this rewires your thinking to prioritize your internal compass. Another powerful tool is journaling. At night, write down moments when you felt pressured by others' opinions. Reflect. Did you give your power away? What could you do differently tomorrow to stay rooted in your own sense of self? This simple act builds emotional muscle. Remember, the Stoics teach us that external things are beyond our control. Only our thoughts and actions belong to us. Your emotional independence is your declaration that you are the master of your own mind, immune to the shifting tides of public opinion. As you grow in this freedom, something extraordinary happens. People feel it, your steadiness, your authenticity. You become magnetic not because you seek to impress, but because you simply are. You radiate a quiet strength that invites respect and genuine connection. So start today. Step off the treadmill of needing approval. Own your choices, your values, your voice. That's not just emotional independence, that's your true power calling. And trust me, it's magnetic. Number 3, you attract respect by mastering your own emotions. You want to be magnetic, not because of flashy words or superficial charm, but because you carry something deeper, something steady and unshakable. That something is emotional mastery. When you master your own emotions, you don't just gain inner peace, you command respect. Why? Because people naturally gravitate toward those who don't let their feelings hijack their actions or cloud their judgment. Think about it. How often have you seen someone lose control and suddenly everything around them crumbles? That loss of control sends a message. I'm vulnerable, unpredictable, and unreliable. But when you keep your emotions in check, especially in difficult moments, you signal strength and stability. You become someone others trust and want to be around. As said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding them deeply so they don't control you. You need to observe your emotions with calm curiosity. When frustration rises, don't dive headfirst into it. Step back. Ask yourself, is this feeling helping me, or is it steering me off course? This simple pause rewires your reaction. Instead of being pulled by anger or fear, you steer your own ship. That's magnetic. Here's your first action step. Start practicing emotional journaling. Every day, spend 5 minutes writing down what emotions you felt and why. Don't judge yourself. Just notice patterns. This practice trains you to identify triggers before they explode. Awareness is the foundation of control. Next, cultivate the habit of deliberate breathing. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a moment, then exhale fully through your mouth. This simple act calms your nervous system and gives your rational mind room to respond wisely. It's a powerful tool that signals to others you're grounded, even in chaos. Remember, respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And nothing earns respect faster than emotional independence. When you don't react impulsively to every jab, criticism, or challenge, people see that you're not a puppet to your moods. You stand firm like a rock. This solidity is rare. It's what makes you magnetic. Seneca reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. You want freedom, the freedom to choose your response rather than be tossed by the waves of emotion. With that freedom comes the undeniable allure of confidence and control. So commit to mastering your emotions. Notice when you're reactive, step back, breathe, and choose your next move thoughtfully. Keep a journal to track your emotional growth. Practice these consistently. Over time, you'll not only feel more at peace inside, you'll radiate a magnetic presence that draws respect effortlessly. You don't need to change others. Change yourself. Become the calm in the storm, the steady hand, the person who moves through life with quiet power. That's emotional independence. That's magnetic. Number 4, emotional independence creates calm in any situation. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, completely unshaken. That's the power emotional independence gives you, a deep, unbreakable calm no chaos can penetrate. When you cultivate emotional independence, you build a fortress inside your mind. You no longer rely on external events or other people's moods to dictate how you feel. Instead, you anchor yourself in your own steady peace. The great Stoic emperor said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is not just ancient wisdom, it's a call to action. You have the power to choose calm. You have the power to control your inner weather. When you stop giving your emotional power away, calm becomes your natural state, not just a fleeting escape. Think about it. How many times have you felt tossed around by someone else's anger, disappointment, or anxiety? How exhausting is it to let your feelings be a reaction to every passing drama? Emotional independence flips that script. It means your emotions rise from within you, shaped by your own reason and values, not by external noise. But calm isn't just about feeling peaceful, it's about showing up strong, clear-headed, and magnetic even when everything around you is chaotic. Calm gives you clarity, it sharpens your decision-making, it lets you respond, not react. And that presence, steady, confident, unshaken, is magnetic. People feel it. They want to be near it. They wish they had it. Now, how do you build this calm? Start small. Practice noticing when your emotions are hijacked by outside events. Catch yourself in the moment before you react. Pause, breathe deeply. Remind yourself this is just a situation. It doesn't control me. This simple exercise rewires your brain over time. It strengthens your emotional muscle, so calm becomes your default. Next, anchor yourself daily with reflection. Spend 5 minutes each day, morning or night, quietly reflecting on what's within your control and what isn't. Write down your thoughts if it helps. This aligns perfectly with Epictetus's teaching. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This habit trains your mind to let go of needless emotional turmoil. Another powerful practice is reframing. When something stressful happens, ask yourself, what's the opportunity here? What can I learn? This shifts your focus from disturbance to growth, and growth fuels calm. Remember, calm is a skill you build. It doesn't come from avoiding difficulty, but from meeting it with steady strength. When you make emotional independence your foundation, you stop being a passenger in your life's journey. You become the captain, steering steadily through storms. So start today. Take control of your mind, choose calm, become magnetic, not by chance but by design. Number 5, it empowers authentic, genuine connections with others. When you embrace emotional independence, you unlock a power that many seek but few truly harness: the ability to build authentic, genuine connections with others. This isn't about detaching from people or becoming cold. Far from it. Emotional independence means you no longer lean on others to validate your worth or dictate your happiness. Instead, you stand firm in yourself. And when you do, something remarkable happens. Your relationships shift from surface-level interactions to deeper, more meaningful bonds. Think about it. When you're emotionally dependent, you might cling to others out of fear or need, creating connections that are fragile or based on imbalance. But when you free yourself from that neediness, you bring your full self to every interaction, your true self, without masks or pretenses. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Being your authentic self invites others to do the same. You don't just connect, you resonate. Here's the truth. People sense when you're genuine. They feel the confidence in your calm, the clarity in your boundaries, and the peace in your presence. That magnetic energy doesn't come from trying to impress or control others. It springs from your self-mastery and self-respect. When you're emotionally independent, you're less reactive, less needy, and far more attentive, listening with intent rather than reacting with fear or insecurity. This empowerment transforms how you engage with others. You stop playing roles or adjusting who you are to fit what you think they want. Instead, you offer realness. You share openly without fear of judgment because you're grounded in your own worth. This creates a space where others feel safe to lower their own defenses, allowing true connection to bloom naturally. So, how do you cultivate this kind of emotional independence to foster authentic connections? Start by practicing mindful self-awareness. Catch yourself when you seek validation or approval from others. Pause. Ask, do I need this approval to feel whole, or is this a habit I can let go of? Build the habit of turning inward for your sense of value instead of outward. Journaling can help here. Write down moments when you felt pressured to conform or fearful of being rejected. Reflect on how you might shift your mindset next time. Another powerful exercise is to set clear boundaries, not as walls, but as respectful guidelines for how you engage with others. When you honor your limits, you communicate self-respect, and people respond with greater respect in return. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Reacting from emotional independence means choosing calm and clarity over anxiety and need. Finally, remember that emotional independence is a journey, not a destination. It takes daily practice to stay rooted in yourself, especially when faced with challenges or emotional triggers. But each time you return to your center, you strengthen your magnetic presence and deepen your connections. You owe it to yourself to step into this power. The more you cultivate emotional independence, the more you'll attract relationships that honor who you truly are, not the version shaped by fear or external demands, but the version grounded in Stoic strength and authenticity. Thank you for watching and diving deep into the power of emotional independence with me. Remember, true magnetism doesn't come from others, it starts within you. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you own your emotions, you own your power. So I challenge you, start today. Practice standing firm in your inner calm, detach from external approval, and watch how your presence naturally pulls people in. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. because your journey to unstoppable confidence is just getting started. Until next time, stay strong, stay independent, and stay magnetic. No great thing is created suddenly. Epictetus. What if I told you that most people lose life's greatest battles, not because they lack strength, intelligence, or resources, but because they run out of patience right before the breakthrough? Think about it. How many times have you been on the edge of something important, only to give up because it was taking too long? In a world obsessed with speed, instant messages, overnight deliveries, quick fixes, patience feels outdated, even weak. But the truth is, patience is not passive waiting. It's controlled power. It's the quiet, unshakable force that turns setbacks into setups, chaos into clarity, and small daily efforts into massive victories. The Stoics knew this well. They understood that when you master patience, you stop being controlled by frustration, impulse, or fear. You start making decisions from a place of strength, and that changes everything. In this video, you're going to learn why patience is not just a virtue, but a weapon sharper than anger, louder than words, and stronger than force. Watch until the very end, because once you see patience in this light, you'll never see delays, struggles, or obstacles the same way again. Number 1, patience helps you control impulsive reactions and make wiser decisions. All right, let's dive deep into this, because if there's one thing that can totally transform how you handle life's ups and downs, it's patience. Seriously, patience isn't just some passive waiting game. No, it's a sharp, active weapon you hold, shaping your reactions and steering your decisions toward wisdom. The Stoics knew this well, said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" That's a direct hit on impulsive reactions, and it all boils down to patience. Here's the truth. When you don't have patience, your mind races ahead, throwing out snap judgments and impulsive responses like you react without thinking, and what happens? You lose control. You say or do things that might feel right in the moment but later leave you wishing you paused just a little longer. That moment of impulse, it's where wisdom slips away. But when you practice patience, real patience, you slow down that rush. You pull back from the edge of reacting and instead observe. You create a space between stimulus and response, and in that space, magic happens. You gain clarity. You see the bigger picture. You realize not everything demands your immediate attention or reaction. This space is where wiser decisions are born. The Stoics teach us that external events are what disturb us, but our judgments about them. Patience helps you master those judgments. When irritation bubbles up, when frustration tries to take over, patience lets you say, "Hold on. I'm not going to be a slave to this moment." You choose how you respond rather than just letting your emotions run wild. Now I want you to really feel this, not just nod along, but to internalize it so deeply that your reactions start changing. Imagine having that calm fortress inside you, a place you retreat to whenever you feel the urge to explode or rush into something. That fortress, it's built with patience. How do you build it? Start with simple exercises. Pause and breathe. When something triggers you, stop. Take a deep breath, actually take 3. Let your body settle, your mind slow down. This tiny pause interrupts the impulsive chain reaction. Count backwards. Before reacting, count backward from 10 to 1. It sounds basic, but this delay is enough to shift your focus from emotional reaction to thoughtful response. Reflect daily. End your day with a quick mental review. Think about moments where impatience took over. How could patience have changed the outcome? This reflection rewires your brain to value patience more. The Stoics remind us to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved and the raging of the sea falls still around it. That rock is you, steadfast, patient, unshaken by every little irritation or impulsive urge. So here's your call to action. Start right now. Not tomorrow, not after you finish this article, but now. Next time your patience is tested, remember wisdom. Let patience be the blade that cuts through chaos, the shield that guards your mind, and the compass that points you toward wise decisions. You are not a puppet to your impulses. You can train your mind to pause, to think, and to act with clarity. Patience is your superpower waiting to be unleashed. Grab it, use it, and watch how your world transforms, not by changing what happens to you, but by changing how you respond. Number 2, it builds resilience by teaching you to endure discomfort without losing composure. Let's talk about resilience, that unshakable strength inside you that keeps you standing, even when life throws its heaviest punches. Here's the truth. Patience is the forge where resilience is crafted. When you practice patience, you're not just waiting. You're training yourself to endure discomfort without flipping out or losing your composure. This is a game changer. Think about it. Every moment that tests your patience, whether it's a delay, a setback, or a challenge, is an opportunity to build resilience. It's like weightlifting for your spirit. You push against discomfort and resistance, and instead of snapping or breaking, you grow stronger, more stable, more grounded. The great Stoic emperor put it simply: if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. That means your suffering isn't forced on you, it's your choice. And patience helps you choose calm over chaos. Here, why enduring discomfort without losing your cool matters. Life is messy. It's unpredictable. You will face delays, misunderstandings, failures, and frustrations. But what if you could meet those moments with steady calm, not because they don't bother you, but because you've trained yourself not to let them control you? That's resilience in action. It's your ability to withstand stress and bounce back again and again. Now, this isn't about bottling up emotions or pretending everything's fine. It's about mastering your reaction. You know that feeling when irritation bubbles up inside. Instead of letting it explode, you take a breath, slow your mind, and hold steady. That pause, that patient breath, is a powerful weapon. It interrupts the impulse to lash out or panic and replaces it with thoughtful action. Seneca, another Stoic, said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity." Why? Because adversity is the gym where your resilience muscles get flexed. So how do you actually build this resilience through patience? Start small. Next time you feel your nerves tighten, stop and breathe deeply. Count to 5 slowly. Don't just rush through it, really feel the breath moving in and out. This simple exercise breaks the cycle of reactive frustration and allows you to reclaim control. Over time, this becomes your default mode. Another practice: remind yourself that discomfort is temporary. It passes. If you can hold steady through a few moments of unease, you prove to yourself you're stronger than your impulses. Write down a Stoic quote that inspires you, maybe Epictetus's. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, and keep it somewhere visible. Let it be your anchor when the storm hits. Patience builds resilience by rewiring your mind to endure discomfort without losing composure. It's training your inner warrior to stay calm amid chaos. When you do this, you gain power over your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your life. So here's your call to action. Start seeing discomfort as your ally, not your enemy. Welcome the challenges that test your patience. Practice breathing deeply in those moments. Cultivate the habit of steady calm. You're not just waiting anymore, you're sharpening your sharpest weapon. Number 3, patience strengthens your emotional intelligence and self-awareness. You might think of patience as simply waiting, a passive thing, like watching the clock tick. But here's the truth. Patience is a powerful force that sharpens your emotional intelligence and deepens your self-awareness. It's not just about enduring time, it's about mastering yourself. When you cultivate patience, you step into a new realm where you see yourself and others with clearer eyes. Think about this for a moment. When you rush, when impatience takes over, your emotions often run wild. Anger, frustration, anxiety, they swell up and cloud your judgment. But patience pulls you back from that edge. It gives you space to breathe, space to reflect. And in that space, your emotional intelligence, that ability to understand and manage your own emotions and recognize the feelings of others, begins to grow stronger. The Stoics knew this well. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity with patience." Why? Because adversity tests you, but more importantly, it teaches you. It reveals your triggers, your blind spots, your knee-jerk reactions. Patience is your training ground for self-awareness. When you practice patience, you're not just waiting out the clock, you're learning who you are in the face of challenge. You see, emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about mastering them. And that mastery comes from patient observation. When you allow yourself to pause, to not react immediately, you give your mind a chance to catch up with your emotions. You recognize patterns. You start to understand what makes you tick. You see where your judgments might be too harsh or your fears too loud. Now I want you to think about how this can change your daily life. The next time you feel irritation rising, maybe someone cuts you off in conversation or things don't go your way, instead of snapping or withdrawing, practice patience. Just pause, breathe. Say to yourself, "I can choose how to respond." This tiny moment is where your emotional intelligence flexes its muscle. Here's a little exercise to help you build this muscle every day. Set a simple intention each morning. Today, I will practice patience. Then throughout your day, catch yourself when impatience creeps in. Stop. Notice what you feel. Name it. Is it frustration, anxiety, fear? And then consciously choose to respond differently. This isn't easy, but it's transformative. Reminded us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Patience is that power. It rewires your brain to be less reactive and more reflective, less controlled by impulse and more guided by wisdom. So you owe it to yourself to embrace patience as a tool for self-mastery. Not a burden or a passive act, but a sharp weapon you wield to navigate life's chaos with clarity and calm. Each time you practice patience, you're not losing time, you're investing in your greatest asset, yourself. Remember, emotional intelligence and self-awareness don't come from rushing ahead, but from standing firm, calmly observing and choosing wisely. Let patience be your guide. Start now. Your future self will thank you. Number 4, it allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth, not threats. Imagine this: every time life throws a curveball, you don't flinch, you don't panic. Instead, you lean in with patience, calm, and clarity. Why? Because patience gives you a superpower, a lens to see challenges not as enemies but as stepping stones. This shift in perspective changes everything. It's not just about waiting it out. It's about transforming your very experience of difficulty. You see, impatience makes problems seem monstrous, like wild beasts ready to devour your peace of mind. But patience whispers the truth that lies beneath the surface. These monsters are actually invitations. Invitations to grow, to learn, to build resilience. Said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means that what seems like a threat, an obstacle, can be your greatest teacher if only you let it be. But here's the catch. You have to choose to be patient. It's not about passivity or giving up. It's a deliberate act of training your mind to pause, to breathe, to not immediately label discomfort or setbacks as disasters. When you do this, your mind doesn't spiral. Instead, it recalibrates and starts searching for solutions, for the lesson hidden in plain sight. Try this. The next time you face a challenge, take a deep breath and mentally step back. Say to yourself, "This moment is not my enemy. It is my chance to grow." Repeat it. Let it sink in. This tiny act of patience rewires your brain, gradually turning obstacles into opportunities. Why does this matter so much? Because life will never stop testing you. But with patience as your ally, those tests become your edge. They sharpen your character, deepen your wisdom, and build your inner strength. You become like a sculptor, chiseling away the unnecessary, revealing the best version of yourself underneath. Epictetus taught that it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Patience changes your judgment. Instead of "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can I learn here?" This question invites curiosity instead of fear. It invites action instead of despair. Here's a practical step you can take right now. When you encounter a frustrating moment, pause, close your eyes briefly. Feel your breath moving in and out. Remind yourself, patience is my power. Every challenge is a chance. Then ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now to move forward? Even the smallest step breaks the cycle of overwhelm. This habit, repeated daily, rewires your mind to expect growth, not defeat. It trains you to be steady when the world is. And steady, as the Stoics believed, is unbreakable. So don't rush past discomfort. Don't push to escape the struggle. Instead, hold it gently. Observe it patiently. Know that every challenge is a gift wrapped in difficulty. Your sharpest weapon in life's battles is not brute force or quick fixes. It's the steady, unwavering patience that turns threats into triumphs. Start today. Choose patience. Watch how your challenges become your greatest teachers. Number 5. Patience creates space for clarity and strategic action, instead of rushed mistakes. Let's talk about patience, not as some boring, passive waiting game, but as your secret weapon. When you slow down, when you refuse to rush into action out of impulse or frustration, something powerful happens. You create space. This space is more than just a pause. It's where clarity blooms. It's where you see the battlefield, your options, and your own strengths with fresh eyes. Imagine your mind like a stormy sea. When you're impatient, you're tossed around by waves of emotion, anxiety, irritation, urgency, but patience. Patience calms those waters. It's the lighthouse that guides you through the fog, helping you avoid crashing into hidden rocks. Said, how much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that arouse them in us? That's the power of patience right there. Holding off those reactive emotions so you don't add chaos to chaos. When you rush, mistakes multiply. You stumble over decisions, miss details, and react to the wrong things. But when you cultivate patience, you give yourself a chance to see clearly. You step back. You ask yourself, what's really going on here? What's the move? This isn't about hesitation or weakness. It's about strategic action. You're not just moving, you're moving with purpose. Here's the thing, patience sharpens your judgment. It transforms impulsive energy into focused power. It makes your actions deliberate, not desperate. You begin to understand that the best moves come not from hurried bursts, but from calm, calculated steps. Seneca reminds us, no man was ever wise by chance. Wisdom arrives when you make room for reflection, not when you barrel ahead blindly. So how do you build this space, this clarity, this patience? Start small. The next time you feel the itch to react immediately, whether it's anger, frustration, or impatience, pause, take a deep breath. Count to 10. Let your mind settle. This simple act rewires your response, creating a habit of thoughtful reflection. Then make it a ritual. Each day, spend 5 minutes sitting quietly. No distractions. Just breathe and observe your thoughts. Notice how quickly your mind wants to leap to conclusions or judgments. Practice letting those thoughts pass without grabbing onto them. This trains your patience muscle and sharpens your focus. Remember, patience is not passive waiting, it's active choosing. Choosing clarity over confusion, choosing wisdom over impulse. You're creating a mental battlefield where your sharpest weapon is a calm mind, ready to strike with precision. This is the essence of Stoic strength. In the words of Epictetus, no great thing is created suddenly. Your patience, your clarity, your power, they build over time. They grow in the spaces you carve out between impulse and action. So claim that space, use it well, and watch how your decisions transform from rushed mistakes into strategic victories. Remember, patience isn't just waiting, it's a powerful weapon that sharpens your mind and steadies your soul. As Seneca said, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity with patience. So the next time life tests you, lean into patience. It's your secret strength, your silent power. If this video sparked something in you, don't just let it fade. Practice patience daily and watch how your life transforms. Hit that like button if you found value here. Share it with someone who needs this reminder. And subscribe for more wisdom to help you master yourself and your world. Stay calm, stay strong, and keep your patience razor sharp. See you in the next one. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. What if I told you that the more you try to explain yourself, the less respect people actually give you? Sounds counterintuitive, right? We live in a world obsessed with justifying every action, defending every opinion, and proving ourselves constantly. But here's the Stoic truth. Restraint, silence, and clarity often command far more respect than endless explanations ever could. Imagine walking into a room where someone confidently speaks, yet never feels the need to justify their every move. People listen, people observe, people respect. And the best part, this isn't some mystical power, it's a principle grounded in Stoicism, the philosophy of timeless wisdom. In this video, we're diving deep into why holding back your explanations can amplify your presence, elevate your influence, and make people naturally respect you more. We'll break down real-life examples, Stoic insights, and subtle psychological triggers that make this strategy work every single time. Stick around till the very end, because the final tip will completely change how you interact with people. And it's something most self-help advice never even touches. By the time you're done watching, you'll see the silent power of self-restraint in a whole new light. Number 1, silent signals confidence and self-control. Imagine for a moment the power that comes from simply holding your tongue, not because you're unsure or timid, but because you're deliberately choosing to remain quiet. There's a magnetic quality in silence, a quiet force that communicates far more than words ever could. In the words of Epictetus, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Every time you resist the urge to explain yourself, to justify your choices, or to defend your actions, you are signaling something profound: self-control, inner strength, and unshakable confidence. When you stop over-explaining, people begin to notice. They notice that your life isn't up for debate. Your decisions are grounded in your own principles, not in a desire to gain approval or appease others. And that is incredibly compelling. The truth is, when you constantly explain yourself, you subtly convey uncertainty. You give others the impression that your actions are negotiable, that your thoughts are pliable to external pressures. But when you embrace silence, you are broadcasting a different message. You are unshakable, calm, and centered. You are telling the world, without uttering a single word, that your integrity and your choices are not subject to negotiation. And here's the thing, you don't need anyone to validate you because you already do. That's the essence of Stoic strength. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Every time you stop yourself from offering unnecessary explanations, you are exercising that power. You are mastering your mind and refusing to hand control over to someone else's judgments. Now I want you to really feel this. Silence isn't emptiness, it's a statement. It's an invisible armor that sets boundaries without aggression, that asserts your presence without noise. You can start small. The next time someone questions a decision of yours, pause, breathe. Instead of rushing to justify, let your stillness speak. Notice the effect. Notice the subtle shift in how people engage with you when they sense you are fully in control of your own narrative. It's almost like they respect the space you create around your thoughts. Your restraint becomes a form of influence. And over time, this practice reshapes how you navigate every conversation, every interaction, every moment where you might feel the pull to defend yourself unnecessarily. Here's a practical way to train this skill. Before responding in any situation where you feel the need to explain, count to 10 silently. Let that pause expand just long enough for you to feel the urge, then watch it dissolve. This pause teaches you that not every thought needs expression, and not every action requires justification. Another exercise is journaling your decisions and reflecting on why you made them. The more clarity you hold internally, the less you feel compelled to broadcast it externally. You will start to notice a calm authority rising within you, a presence that others can sense even without hearing a single word. And remember, this isn't about arrogance or detachment. It's about self-mastery. It's about walking through life with the quiet assurance that your value doesn't require explanation. It's about living according to your own principles and letting your actions, not your words, carry the weight of your character. Every time you embrace this silent strength, you are practicing a Stoic art, shaping your life from within, not from the approval or understanding of others. So take a deep breath, pause, and allow yourself to resist the urge to over-explain. Watch how your confidence grows, how your presence deepens, and how the world starts to respect you in ways that words alone could never achieve. Silence is your ally. Use it, own it, let it speak for you. Number 2, over-explaining can appear insecure or defensive. You've probably noticed it before. You start explaining yourself, trying to justify your actions, your choices, your thoughts, and suddenly the room feels heavier, the energy shifts, and instead of respect, you get questions, doubts, or even subtle judgment. Over-explaining can make you seem insecure, defensive, or uncertain about yourself. When you constantly feel the need to clarify, to rationalize, to convince, it sends a silent signal. I'm not confident in my own decisions. And the truth is, confidence isn't about having a loud voice or being able to justify every move. It's about owning your choices silently, firmly, without needing anyone else's approval. Once reminded himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. You don't have to explain, defend, or apologize for being yourself. You just have to live it. Here's the thing, you hold a quiet power when you resist the urge to over-explain. People sense it immediately. When you speak less but act with integrity, they pay attention differently. They feel your presence, your decisiveness, your inner stability. When someone continually explains themselves, it can feel like they are seeking permission or validation. And that subtle energy shift changes how others see you. Instead of viewing you as someone in command of their life, they perceive a person swayed by doubt, trying to convince the world of their worth. But when you stop over-explaining, you stop feeding that perception. You let your actions and your calm confidence speak for you. You create a space where respect isn't demanded, it's given. Start noticing your words. Pay attention to moments when you catch yourself saying, "Well, I just," or "the reason I did this is." Ask yourself, do I really need to explain this? Or am I trying to fill silence with reassurance for others? Stoicism teaches us that our inner state matters far more than external opinions. Seneca wrote, It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. The craving here is the need to be understood or approved. When you over-explain, you're unconsciously showing that craving. By cutting it off, you cultivate self-sufficiency, a core Stoic principle. You begin to act with integrity, not for applause, but because it aligns with your values. You can practice this habit starting today. Begin with small moments. A text you feel compelled to over-justify, a meeting where you want to defend your idea excessively, or even a conversation where your actions might be questioned. Take a breath. Pause. Speak only what is necessary. Silence isn't emptiness, it's power. Learn to embrace it. Let your posture, your tone, your consistency, and your calm conviction do the work your words would normally try to cover. You'll be surprised at the shift. People notice, but it's subtle. They start treating you differently, with more patience, more trust, and ultimately more respect. Here's another exercise. Whenever you feel the urge to explain yourself, write down your thoughts first. Review them. Ask yourself if they add value or simply serve your need to justify. If it's the latter, discard it. Let your actions communicate, not your explanations. Imagine living your life like Epictetus advised. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction, your restraint in speaking unnecessarily, becomes a magnet for respect. It demonstrates self-control, clarity, and an unshakable inner confidence that words alone could never convey. Remember, each time you resist the urge to over-explain, you reinforce your own sense of authority over your life. You tell yourself and the world, you are enough, your choices are enough, your presence is enough. Respect grows naturally around that energy. And as a bonus, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of constant justification. Your mind becomes quieter, your focus sharper, and your interactions more meaningful. So start now. Pause before your next explanation. Trust yourself. Trust your actions. Let the silence do the talking. Number 3, respect grows when actions speak louder than words. You might not realize it, but people watch your actions far more closely than they listen to your explanations. Words can fill the air, but they don't carry the weight that consistent, deliberate action does. When you stop feeling the need to justify yourself, something remarkable happens. Respect grows organically around you. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Think about that for a moment. It's not enough to talk about your values, your intentions, or your boundaries. You have to embody them. Every choice you make, every small action is a declaration of who you are. And when your actions consistently align with your principles, people notice. Even if they don't say it, their perception of you shifts. They start to trust that your integrity is real, that your character is steadfast, and that your word isn't something you need to pad with explanations. Now imagine releasing the burden of constant justification. The world doesn't need your commentary on every move you make. The temptation to explain yourself stems from a subtle fear. Fear of misunderstanding, fear of judgment, fear that your intentions won't be seen. But here's the secret. When you act with integrity and clarity, those fears evaporate. Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When applied here, the craving is not material. It's the craving for approval, the need to make others see you the way you see yourself. Let that craving go. Stop talking yourself into respect. Instead, let it emerge naturally from what you do, not what you say. Start small. Today, notice every time you feel the urge to justify a choice, a boundary, or a decision. Pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does anyone truly need to hear this explanation? Often the answer will be no. Let your actions carry the message. If you promise to be on time, show up on time. If you say you value honesty, let truthfulness guide your words and decisions without preemptively defending them. These small, deliberate actions create a quiet authority. People start to see that your life is a reflection of your principles. They feel it. And respect, Real respect doesn't demand to be shouted. It quietly recognizes authenticity and self-mastery. Practice this daily. Each morning, choose one action you will take without feeling the need to explain it afterward. Maybe it's setting a boundary, maybe it's pursuing a goal others don't understand, maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't serve you. Do it with calm confidence. Notice how it feels not to justify. Observe the subtle shift in how people respond, even when they don't say a word. Over time, this practice rewires your mind. You stop measuring your worth by others' approval and start living in alignment with your values. Remember, Stoicism isn't about being cold or unfeeling, it's about clarity and integrity. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Your life becomes a living statement. When your actions consistently reflect your principles, the need to explain fades. You will find that the less you justify yourself, the more others respect you. There's a quiet power in restraint, in letting your character speak on your behalf. You begin to radiate trustworthiness, consistency, and strength without ever raising your voice. And that, ultimately, is the kind of respect that sticks. So start today. Let your actions speak. Hold your decisions without excuses. Watch as the world responds, not because of your words, but because of the integrity behind them. That is true Stoic power, and it's yours for the taking. Number 4, boundaries are strengthened by withholding unnecessary explanations. Imagine for a moment that every time you felt the need to explain yourself, you were giving away tiny pieces of your power, like coins slipping through your fingers without even realizing it. That's exactly what happens when you constantly justify your choices, defend your actions, or clarify your intentions. The Stoics were very clear on this. Your energy is precious, and not everyone deserves to have a seat at the table of your mind. Seneca once wrote, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." Think about that. Every time you feel pressured to explain yourself, you're suffering before it's necessary, and worse, you're opening a doorway for others to question your authority over your own life. By withholding unnecessary explanations, you're not being rude or secretive. You're simply protecting your boundaries. You're telling the world silently but firmly that your choices are yours and they don't require validation. Start noticing how often you reach for words to justify your position and then pause. Feel the urge to speak, to clarify, and instead of acting immediately, breathe. Just sit with it. The more you practice this, the more you'll realize that most explanations are, frankly, a waste of your mental currency. Reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Applying this to your daily interactions, it becomes clear that you do not need to fill every silence with defense or reasoning. Silence can be louder and stronger than words. The people who truly respect you, who recognize your worth, don't need you to explain your every move. They recognize integrity when they see it, not when you narrate it. Now I want you to actively start building this muscle. When someone questions you, resist the reflex to justify. Instead, try saying nothing. Feel the discomfort in your chest. Notice the urge to elaborate. Welcome it, but don't act on it. Over time, this resistance will strengthen your inner fortitude. You're teaching yourself that your value is intrinsic. It doesn't hinge on constant validation from others. This is exactly what the Stoics practiced. Detachment from the opinions of others, focusing instead on controlling their own mind, their own actions, their own responses. Every time you withhold an unnecessary explanation, you reclaim a little more authority over your life. You're setting a boundary that says, "I am responsible for me, not for your understanding of me." And here's something to take even further. Reflect daily on moments when you felt the urge to justify yourself. Ask yourself why. What fear lies beneath that compulsion? Are you afraid of being judged, misunderstood, ignored? Facing these questions honestly gives you a chance to practice Stoic self-mastery. Remember Epictetus' wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reactions are entirely within your control. By choosing not to explain unnecessarily, you're choosing strength, restraint, and dignity over fleeting approval. Practice turning silence into a shield. Before offering explanations, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does this add value? Will my words change the outcome, or am I just diffusing an imaginary tension in my own mind? Pause, breathe. Let your presence, your calm, your confidence speak louder than your words. Start small, maybe a few sentences at first, then stretch it longer. Over time, people will begin to respect you more, not because you're cold, but because you are centered, composed, and intentional. You're no longer handing out pieces of yourself in every conversation. You are becoming someone who commands respect naturally, someone who doesn't need to justify themselves to be worthy. This isn't about arrogance. It's about clarity, self-respect, and conscious living. By withholding unnecessary explanations, you are not hiding your truth, you are protecting it. You are telling the world in every calm, measured silence that your life is yours to direct, that your mind, your choices, and your integrity are not up for negotiation. Practice it. Own it. Feel it settle in your chest like a quiet strength, and watch as respect follows naturally, quietly, effortlessly. Number 5. Stoic detachment cultivates authority and calm influence. Imagine the quiet power that comes from not feeling the need to justify yourself constantly. When you stop explaining every choice, every action, every word you utter, something remarkable happens. You begin to radiate authority without even trying. This is the essence of Stoic detachment, and it's not about arrogance or aloofness. It's about understanding the difference between what is within your control and what is not. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you internalize this, you no longer bend to the judgments, questions, or demands of others. You become calm. You become steady. And in that calm, people sense a magnetic presence that draws respect naturally. They don't need you to explain yourself, because your composure, your consistency, your deliberate choices speak louder than any words ever could. Think about the energy you waste when you over-explain. Each time you justify your actions, you're giving away a piece of your inner authority. You're allowing the world to negotiate the value of your choices. But when you adopt Stoic detachment, you reclaim that energy. You say to yourself, my worth is not up for debate, my decisions do not require approval. Try this. The next time someone questions your action, pause, breathe. Instead of rushing to justify, simply state your choice with clarity and move on. Feel the subtle shift as the power dynamic changes. You are no longer pulled into someone else's perception of right or wrong. You are grounded in your own reason, your own judgment. There's a deep calm that comes from letting go of the compulsion to explain. In his meditations, reminds us to be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. You can embody that cliff. Let the world surge, question, and demand. Let people doubt or challenge. You remain unmoved, steady in your center, unshaken by the noise of constant scrutiny. This calm is not passive, it is active mastery over your own mind. And here's the crucial part. When you display that calm authority, people cannot help but respect you. They recognize strength without ego, confidence without the need to prove anything, and influence that does not coerce. You can start building this habit today. Begin small. Choose one interaction in your day where your impulse is to explain or justify. Instead of launching into defense, take a slow breath. Ask yourself, does this explanation serve me, or does it serve someone else's need to control the narrative? Practice holding your ground in silence. Let your actions and demeanor do the talking. Over time, This creates a rhythm in your life where you act intentionally and respond deliberately, rather than reacting from a place of fear or insecurity. You'll notice people begin to defer, to listen more, to treat your words and choices with weight. And the beauty is, all of this happens quietly, without theatrics, without performing for approval. Stoic detachment isn't withdrawal, it's mastery. It's a steady river running through a world of chaotic currents. You gain the freedom to act without being burdened by justification, and in doing so, you cultivate an aura of calm authority. Your presence itself becomes influential. So, start now. Practice letting go of the need to explain. Trust yourself. Trust your judgment. And remember the words of Seneca, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." Each time you resist the urge to explain, each time you anchor yourself in reason rather than reaction, you grow stronger, calmer, more respected. Let that quiet strength define you. Let it guide your daily choices. And watch as the world begins to take note, not of the words you speak, but of the unwavering person you are becoming. Remember, the power of silence is not about being mysterious. It's about valuing your energy, your time, and your peace of mind. When you stop over-explaining, people start to notice your confidence, your clarity, and your self-respect. As the Stoics teach us, true strength is quiet, deliberate, and unwavering. So the next time someone questions your choices or actions, pause, breathe, and simply stand firm. Your respect and theirs grows naturally from there. If you found this insight helpful, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs a reminder, and don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom-packed lessons from Stoicism. Your journey to inner strength starts with small, mindful steps, and sometimes with saying nothing at all.